What's up, everybody? Red Cloud Gamer here. Joining me today, my co-host, as always. What's up, Green Sween?
We're finally back.
Yeah, don't say it, man. Don't.
Back
uh,
to the Flash.
man. All right. So I had COVID. I actually got pretty sick for a little bit. Didn't feel good and missed the last 3 weeks. I wasn't able to do this, and Sween just didn't feel like it would be right to do it without me. Kind of need the two people to host, so we held
Yeah,
off.
it's just I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk to myself. That's more of like a me thing, you know. I don't make it public.
You just did though.
But not publicly talk to myself. You know what I mean, whatever.
I've seen you talk to yourself in person. Stop
It
it.
happens. Yeah, but
Uh,
we're close friends.
I mean, how do you define close, bro? I didn't like how that came off.
Whatever.
No.
Listen.
All right, we are
Here's
back.
the-
The NSX gaming podcast here. A lot has happened in the last couple of weeks, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about. But I think you said you wanted to start with some of the footage you sent over, right?
Yeah, we got a little bit of me footage in this one finally. A little capture card for Christmas. So I got it a little bit earlier than Christmas, but like you said, you had a rough couple weeks there, man. I felt bad for you. I was getting a little worried.
All right.
But no better medicine than a little Christmas spirit, and here we got it.
Dude, the
so
crazy thing is that really looks like you jumped into Animal Crossing. Like,
minus the, yeah, I put a little Santa beard on there too, and
yeah.
you just even my character outside of that, I do a good job trying to make it look realistic. There's my little buddy there, Carlos. Now you get to see my island, everything finally. Give me a
Yeah, I
little
haven't
baby
seen it
chair
since I
here.
was showing you how to put pictures in it, remember?
Yeah. I actually, you can see it in the back. You can see me as playing the guitar on the flag. You see it?
Yeah. You remember
Yeah,
when you came to my island and I had pictures of you everywhere?
dude, I was absolutely shook. I didn't know how you did it, and I was just like, this is crazy. Um, so this is one of the two games I've jumped back into lately, and I wanted to talk about that. Is the last two games I've been playing, I've found some value in some old games. Been waiting to play Immortals. I got it on Christmas, so getting a little bit of footage of that later on. But as of now, it's been Animal Crossing for me with the holidays. Toy Day was super fun. Nothing like giving your villagers some gifts for free.
No. Well, you know,
after all,
talking about going
after all
back to
the
games, like Nintendo's one of the best at doing that. Like everyone has some games that you want to go back to, you revisit. I personally Lost Odyssey, one of my all-time favorite games. I like to play it. You know, every couple years I'll run through it again. And I mean that's a 40-hour experience. But like Nintendo has always had games that you can just hop back into. You know, you stop by a friend's house, they're playing some Mario or whatever. You're like, "Yo, let me get that controller."
absolutely. Actually, another game I did get to play at my buddies on Xbox was Crash Team Racing. That was really fun. I haven't played that since the
It
old days.
was
So
original. Yeah.
he needed help on adventure mode. He said he's been stuck on this mission for about a couple days. So I got on there, and about 5 tries later, I'm in this. So you can see here, I got extremely frustrated with this. I was building a snowman, and you have to get it the perfect shape. Um, and I was trying to put it on a certain spot in my island, but once you build a snowman, you can't move them. And
All
if you hit
right.
them, if you hit them off a tree, any of the snowballs, or any like a fence, it breaks, falls in the water, it's done. Restart.
You know,
I
it's
spent
funny because I was just watching you push that snowball around, and from some angles it looked like you were clearly touching the snowball, but when you were pushing it towards the screen, it looked like your hand was like waving above it, like you were some psychic Santa with a crystal ball, trying to tell me Animal Crossing's future.
there's me on the flag. There it is. That's so awesome that you can incorporate things like that.
Yeah, I haven't played mine in a while, but I got pictures of my kids on the wall in my house.
Yo, so you want to know something cool I did on Animal Crossing? Not a lot of people know this, so this is a good one. In Carlos's house, the little sheep that I was talking to, he has an acoustic guitar with a picture of me on it playing guitar. And on my real acoustic guitar that looks like that one, I have a sticker of Carlos on that guitar.
That's pretty cool.
Did that as like a little dope thing in real life to incorporate it. But that was fun with the holidays. I didn't do too much. Did a little bit of restructure. I had a nice little Christmas area that I took pictures of. But then it's been Breath of the Wild for me, man. I was
Back to
around the
Breath
game,
of the Wild.
and you know what, dude? I've really realized something about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is you play that game the second time around and you dive deep and you realize the first time you played that game, you didn't even play the game. There's no way you found everything your first go through. I really played it for the story. And then around the Game Awards, I kind of was like looking at old Game Award presentations and everything. And I watched obviously the 2017 one. And I was like, you know, I'm going to dive back into this. I didn't even get the DLC or anything. And there's actually like important cinematics in it. So I have put, honestly, coming into it, I was at 40 hours in Breath of the Wild, or 50 maybe. I'm at 110 now, dude. In
Oh, all
about
right.
probably about 2 weeks. So those have been my two games, really, though, the big ones. And kicking snowballs has been my thing. Look at this. This is
Yeah.
just, and that, of course, I have like a little nice orchard here, too. And I'm just like, oh,
Oh
oh,
man, I thought you were about to rage quit again.
dude, I think I do here. I think I, look at this. I mean, it's a disaster.
Yeah. Uh, I myself, I haven't gone back into Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna yell at me in a minute. I didn't finish it.
Oh,
You
you've
know,
told me multiple times, and I'm still,
I
you
bought
know, you're the bigger Zelda fan than me.
yeah. I mean, I have so much Zelda merch here. Some of it came from you actually, and
No,
that's the only Zelda game I didn't play through. And
I know.
I don't know. It's just I like the Switch. I do. It's definitely a good game system, especially from a mobile perspective. Oh, he blew it up.
Oh.
Didn't
Yeah,
quit.
race
That's
quit.
great.
There it is. Yeah, this is just to show. This is good footage to show you how like tedious you can make this game, though. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the grind that makes it that worth it at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
I bet it didn't
But
feel worth it right there. But yeah, I got
at
to go
the end,
back to
no.
Breath of the Wild. I think I saw someone had it like a modified version running on computer with like a much higher resolution. So maybe I'll give that a shot because that's really the reason I don't like it on Switch. Is I've gotten really spoiled with having like 4K images and whatnot. And Breath of the Wild is really the art style phenomenal. Clearly copied in Immortals, by the way. But
Yeah,
it's like most Switch games, it only really looks good quality on the Switch. When you're playing on a TV, which is how I prefer to play a game, you notice how blurry it is. Like the Switch is your primary gaming platform, and like you don't really game on your PC that much anymore. You have the Xbox I hooked you up with, but that's a 1080p, and most games aren't even 1080p kind of machine. So you're not really used to playing games at 4K, and when you go from playing a clean, crisp 4K game to dropping down to sub 1080p, it looks horrible. And it really takes you out of the gaming experience because you're constantly noticing the muddy textures and how blurry something looks. I really wish that Nintendo would at least give us like a dock that's just capable of upscaling cleanly into 4K, like some of that like Nvidia DLSS stuff. Give me my games. You don't have to run them natively. I want to say that Digital Foundry showed DLSS on Control, ran the game natively at 540p, and it matched a 1080p image. So if you could even run the game at 720p with some sort of DLSS on a better dock on the Switch, you could get it really matching the quality of like 1440p, and then I'd be much more satisfied.
yeah, I understand that. I mean, completely. No, I understand that you're definitely, especially you. I mean, there's everybody has their gaming preferences, right? I mean, we all do. And your eye is basically at the point where you've had so much technology, you get all of it, that your eye is kind of trained. It's like when we talked about NBA 2K19 on the Switch versus the Xbox and the PlayStation. I'm like, I'm running this just fine, but I also don't know it the way you know it.
Yeah, I mean I'm terrible at 2K anyway, but I got spoiled with 2K running at 60 frames, and now it has to. I need it to run at 60 frames. I cannot have it run lower than that.
And that's a game I understand, but I mean, Breath of the Wild, I mean, it definitely does have its frame dips and everything like that, but all in all, just the depth of the game is, I just feel like it's worth it. And the art style, I mean, it is something brand new, you got to think, like, there's not an, I mean, Immortals is a game that looks like it, but oh my God, I was just livid. I had to have been. I remember it. Look it right back into it. I just cut the, oh no, that's the same footage. Yeah, but that just
Oh,
showed
it's
me,
wrapping around.
yeah. So let's go to what I recorded today, because there is one more game I've been playing that I do want to talk about, and we didn't get to talk about. That was kind of what we had planned next, was our post-game awards, because we did our pre-game awards show, and that's where we left off. But obviously one of the biggest announcements from Nintendo at the Game Awards was our buddy Sephiroth here. So this is actually from today. Some Smash footage from today for you. I got on real quick before we got the podcast, and I didn't really have too much great Sephiroth footage. So I was like, let's run an online tournament real quick. And yeah, you just got to see the Chocobo, Geno hat. That was a hurtful thing for the Smash community, man, to see Geno as a Mii fighter. A lot of people wanted Geno from 3D Mario All-Stars to come into Smash. That roster is just insane, dude.
It is. I mean, it's like I don't know if you remember, but Mortal Kombat Trilogy or Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah.
They both had like the complete Mortal Kombat rosters for their time. And it's kind of like that, except obviously, you know, Smash Bros. Like, everyone that's ever been in one is there, and then more people, and you're getting characters that you just never thought you were going to see. Like, I don't know, Sephiroth, you know?
Yeah, you know, and it's so interesting to see Cloud and Sephiroth, because we talked about this, and I mean, don't get it wrong, there were a lot of other games that separated RPG for PlayStation over Nintendo, but that was really like the big stepping stone, I think, for RPGs to be more of a Sony thing than Nintendo on the PS1, PS2 era. Also, obviously, them going disc, but these characters kind of killed the RPGs for Nintendo, and now here they are years later in their game. And
yeah, well, I mean,
seems like
you got to remember, Final Fantasy VII started out as a Nintendo game, and then when they got confirmation that they wouldn't have a disc drive, they moved development to a disc system with PlayStation, and it was the biggest game of its time. I mean, in every regard, it sold like crazy. It had like the biggest development team of any game at its time. It was, you know, 4 discs. It was a daunting experience that seemed, you know, just pristine and premium from every angle that you played it.
I thought this was one of the best. I think this is my second favorite DLC fighter to come to this in Smash Bros. Seriously. I mean, by the way, I'm smoking this guy. I don't know if you realize that. I just absolutely obliterate. Look at that move.
I'm no good at Smash, so I don't really know. I'll tell you.
Ready? Here it comes. Ready? I turn around, bang, sword. Dude, I was just on these first 2 guys. I lost the third. Bang, done. Dude, he is just an awesome character to add to this game. Look at this. Look at the ending. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you first see him. That's Final Fantasy VII, man, back in the day.
Yeah, but just with the fire in the background. I mean,
yeah, that's that cutscene from back in. I mean, obviously it's on Smash now. That's really cool. They kind of threw that little touch in, and I do feel they kind of always do that, where
right,
you know, like every character has little touches from their own game. Like I remember Snake had some callbacks to Metal Gear. I'm looking at the screen right now, man, and I'm seeing some of these characters, and I wish I was better at Smash and could really get into it and play. I wanted to be good at Smash. I remember I used to play the computer, and I thought, like, oh, man, I'm pretty good. And then I actually, I played a couple of my friends, and, like, I beat a couple of them. And then I played my buddy, you know, Mike Dorsey, Hard Mamba. You know, I featured him on one of my videos telling people to watch his stuff because he's pretty damn good. He plays a lot of Warzone. He's a monster.
No doubt.
If he were to stream Smash, he's much better at Smash than he is at Warzone, and he's really good at Warzone. Dude, he destroyed me at Smash so badly, I never played the game again. I was like, okay, that's it. This is something I'm not supposed to do, I guess.
You know, I mean, you remember, this was the first game I really got big into on the Switch. This was kind of like the thing that made, because remember, I bought my Switch in 2018 after you showed it to me. And,
yeah, with Fast RMX, which I think you still haven't gotten.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Holy jeez.
You should check the eShop. It's actually a fun game.
I'm gonna look at that, honestly. Thank you for the reminder, dude. I completely forgot. But remember, I kind of lost my Xbox around June 2018. I was like, all right, am I gonna get another Xbox or am I gonna get a Switch? And then I saw Smash Bros was coming out for the Switch. I'm like, yeah, I'll go for it, dude. I missed that game. I mean, even when I got the Wii U, that was kind of the turning point for me. Smash has always been a huge game for me since Melee, and even 64. But
I'll always remember the commercial for Smash 64 where they're all like walking together in a field and then they beat the hell out of each other. That was awesome.
Bring it back.
Yeah. Do it again.
Yeah, one thing.
Get Sephiroth in there.
not that the World of Light was bad in the story mode, but I wish they would have went back to Melee's like adventure mode. Do you remember that where they had like all the character themed levels and you would fight like the actual NPCs from those games,
Yeah.
like the Goombas? Dude, I thought that was like a stellar part of Melee, seriously. And
I think the way they introduced Sephiroth into this game is interesting. I really like how like he comes out one day, but he's in the game as a boss, and if you beat him, you get him a little early.
yeah,
Like
dude,
that's
that
a
was
really cool concept, and more games should do something like that, where you can unlock a character like a week or so early if you've got the skill to do something special. That's pretty sick to me.
so. This is gonna maybe give me a little bit of controversy, but at the same time, this is the truth: is Sephiroth brought my childhood nightmares, and I wasn't even a Final Fantasy fan. I didn't grow up playing Final Fantasy until about Final Fantasy X. I didn't play 7. I didn't know about, but
Hang
I
on a
was
minute. There's a solid age gap between us. Final Fantasy X, weren't you like 9?
yeah, but
Of course, you didn't grow up playing Final Fantasy. It's too deep for a 5-year-old.
Okay, but I played Kingdom Hearts 1, and that's where I was going to get at, is when I played Kingdom
Hang on,
Hearts
Kingdom
1 and
Hearts
2.
was after 10, so like you were still. I mean, like these games are about your comprehension level. Like you can't really get into a deep RPG when you don't understand the concepts and the systems
I'm gonna call
you
it.
play.
I'm gonna call a big timeout because I'm 25 years old and I still cannot fucking figure out Kingdom Hearts. And I did just drop the bomb, but oh yeah, he just choked there. But Kingdom Hearts, dude, that game is just a mumbo jumbo mess of story and madness, dude. Oh my god. If you can figure out Kingdom Hearts, dude, I'll give you my soul. I don't know how I will, but I will. If you can explain to me properly Kingdom Hearts, I'll get it. Good luck. Me and my buddy try to wrap our brain around this all the time, and we just cannot. It is insane. The story is truly remarkable, but it was a hard game though too back in the day. I remember I had my guidebooks back in the day. I used to read them and go through, but I was gonna say I wasn't a Final Fantasy fan, but right when I was watching the Game Awards and I heard that Sephiroth One Winged Angel play, my childhood instantly got brought back to like facing Sephiroth in the Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, dude, and just like he's the hardest boss you can face in
Yeah,
Kingdom
and
Hearts 1 and 2.
I meant to ask you, how hard is he to beat in Smash to unlock him?
So I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm a Smash tourney worthy player. You know what I mean? You just saw me hold my own against 2 people. I'm probably better than I would say 60% of people at Smash, realistically. Like I'm great, but I'm not like this elite player that's really, really good. It took me about 15, 16 tries. And I would get him down to like 10% health, but there was even people like Mewtwo King and top Smash Bros players that really struggled with this too, dude. It was not easy. It was like facing them in Kingdom Hearts. The hardest computer challenge you could ever the hardest computer challenge you could ever face in Smash Bros, hands down.
I was hoping to hear that because I love the concept, like I said, of putting a character in as a boss battle that you have to unlock him early by beating it. But it wouldn't really be as cool if you could just run through him like he was nothing.
But here's the thing: is you could unlock him, and there was an option to run through him like it was nothing. It was easy, beginner, normal, and hard difficulty, or very hard. And I did them all, but you could unlock them just by doing beginner, which I thought they should have did it the way you're thinking too. But I'm okay with it because there are younger players that play Smash and they want them today too. But at the same time, it was only a couple days away, so did they really have a lot to lose? I don't know. I think they should have made it you complete all 3 to unlock them. And guess who I lose to?
That's really dope though, man. I wish I was better at Smash. I got slaughtered so bad by Mike that I just like, dude, I don't want to play this. Like, you ever like lose at something so bad that you're like, maybe this isn't for me. I'm just
yeah.
I'm not that
Yeah.
good.
Let me explain some of these moves real quick on what's going on here. So you see those purple orbs that are going around them like that,
Yeah.
like how I snap my finger. So those are like they go off and they just bang. See how they explode on them? They wait for a couple seconds and then they proc and hit them. And then he's got that Oni slash, which you point the arrow. You'll see an arrow around him. See how that arrow was pointing a direction?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So that he aims it and then it like does like a multi slash on him. And then that's like a big explosion move that you could set tiers. That was just a regular swing. So that move right there, there's 3 tiers. See how that's the big one. Short range, but does massive damage when it explodes. That's medium range, does really good damage. And then the other one is long range but does low damage. So
All right.
he's just got a wide diverse. See, like how I'm trying to shield and block myself from that purple orb exploding. You'll see me get it off here. Hold on, I think. Yeah, watch. Bang, bang, bang. See how I shielded through it? That's like the key to kind of stop it, and then he just smokes me with the sword, unfortunately. He has such a strong hit and such a high reach.
Yeah. I wish I was better at this game. I really do, because I see a lot of people play it. When I used to play the computer, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But when I got slaughtered by my friends, I was like, all right, maybe I shouldn't play this. Maybe I'm not as good as I think. And I'm sure if I stuck to it, I'd get better. But I was just like, dude, Dorsey was so far ahead of me then. I was like, I'm not going to get that good. It's just not going to happen. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You remember like, you know, to cut the sports for a second. You remember when the Patriots were like unbeatable in 07? And they were like slaughtering teams. Because you know in football, there's this like, this unwritten rule where you don't embarrass your opponent. You know,
yeah. We talked about this with Andy Reid trying to stick with that rule and everything like that.
Well, in 07, the Pats were upset that they got caught with the Spygate, and people were saying they didn't deserve their Super Bowls. So they threw that rule out the rule book and just started beating the hell out of everyone. And, I mean, it was terrible. I remember they played the Redskins, and they won like 52-7. And that's kind of how Dorsey beat me at Smash Bros. Like, I felt like the 07 Redskins against the Patriots.
Yeah, so you don't we don't gotta watch the whole thing again, but if you want to see the 07 Patriots versus the Redskins, watch me versus my buddy Crazy Tree here, okay? Because my buddy Pikachu Libre thought he was gonna come in and shock the nation because he's a Pikachu, but he had nothing. He had nothing in the tank, dude. And we're gonna review this footage step by step, and we're gonna see the Green Sweens points per game. We're gonna go over everything, dude. We're gonna go over.
You're shut up.
So you can see,
you won. Congratulations.
Basic. Look at that. I get shocked. Look, I'm starting off terrible right off the rip. But where's the recovery? Bang, sword. Okay, bang, sword again. Right off the bat, he just jumped right into that.
Spamming the same move.
Look at that slash. Look at that slash. Yeah, okay. Where's the same move? All right, so I did it twice. Here we go. Big blast. Bang.
You're one of those kids that just drop kick the hell out of people in Mortal Kombat 3, aren't you?
No, I used to use mad combos, like 56% with Sector on Mortal Kombat 9. I was nasty, dude. Mortal Kombat 9 was my game. That was the only one I really dove into and like played online. I think I had a 28-4 record, something crazy like that. Seriously, I was really, really good on 360.
We're going to have to do an NSX gaming stream where we hop on some Mortal Kombat and see if the Green Sween's as good as he says he is.
It's got to be Mortal Kombat 9 for the 360, though.
Oh, shut up. They all play the same now. We can go into 11.
No.
Yes.
Now you got 3 different techniques.
You know what? I think Xbox One is backwards compatible with Mortal Kombat 9, so I'll get my hands on it and we'll do a stream. Okay?
Look at that. Look at that. Done.
Okay.
You had no shot.
You're so annoying sometimes.
Look at him clapping. Look, 268%. My God. That's just dominating footage. I can't believe it.
Do we have any other footage we want to show today?
Well,
I mean, I've got your Immortals footage, but I didn't get to splice it with the Xbox footage, so I'll probably hold that off to the next one, do a bigger thing on it.
Yeah, we were gonna do so I guess we'll just announce that, or tell the people what we got planned is we want to do
Switch versus Series X Immortals footage. So we're just gonna record very similar footage and split it. One half of the screen will be Switch, one half will be Series X, because I figure outside of playing on a PC on max settings, which as good as it is, most PC players don't have elite towers. Most people play on mid-range computers. So when you're talking about gaming, console gaming is where most people are going to play. And I want to show the comparison between the lowest end console version of Immortals and the highest end, which is Series X. So we'll see how that comes off. I'm just going to switch out and some random...
Zombies.
Yeah.
Highlighted.
I didn't realize how big it was. That's my fault.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, we still got a little bit. Anyway, even before this footage, something I wanted to talk about super quick is we don't want to just do Immortals. We've talked a couple of games, and we've talked about NBA 2K21, Burnout Paradise, and Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, right?
Yeah. So we're going to do like a series where we're comparing the Green Sweens gaming against mine. to really show.
Yeah, but definitely would like some feedback from the people too, if we can, for those 3 games. What they'd
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to see next.
I want as much feedback as we can get. I'm planning on doing a giveaway or two. My birthday's coming up, so I think I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. We'll probably record another podcast, and I'll post
Yeah,
it up on
nice.
my birthday, and I'll stash some codes like a Switch eShop code, a PlayStation code, and an Xbox code somewhere in the video, so people that watch it will be able to just try to snatch up a code real quick.
Yeah, I'll handle the Nintendo code as long as you got the PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, it sounds
Good,
like that'll work.
good deal. You're the SX to the end.
Yeah. Do a little giveaway, get some more interaction. I know I did a couple giveaways on my Twitter right before I got COVID, and I got some interaction. It was nice to find some people, like-minded gamers to talk to. A couple people I've still been interacting with since, so that's pretty dope. You
This
can
is
see
the
I'm
new
playing some
zombies.
zombies here. Yeah, there's only one map. It's this Die Machina. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
They made some changes that I'm not completely a fan of. It doesn't seem to phase me too much because if I'm honest, I'm a pretty good zombies player. I can make it into the high 50s and 60s, without much effort. But
Now is this
some of
captured
my
on the Series X?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Some of my teammates are not typically as good as me. And one thing you've played zombies with me back Black Ops 4 we played together.
I'm one of those teammates.
Yeah. So in old zombies games, all the ones until now, you would get 10 points for every bullet that hits a zombie. And
Right.
The trick was to train all of your zombies together to get a big crowd because then the bullets penetrate through them and one shot might hit 3 zombies, so you can just rack up points and do all your stuff, your perks, your upgrade, pack a punch, all that stuff. In this game, you only get points for a kill, so your bullets get you nothing, and
Oof.
it puts you in a tough spot if you don't get a lot of points early. So if you're playing with someone like me that's going to amass a lot of points with a lot of kills early, you might not get enough points to really thrive. And I will help and try to weaken guys so my teammates can do good. But if you go down late, I remember in Black Ops 3, the castle map, der Eisendrach, I was playing with Felony, Felony,
Yeah.
and he went down, I think mid 30s or so, and I couldn't get to him. He went down early in the round. I think there was something wrong with his controller or something. He lost connection, so he died. So I survived the round. He came back the next round with nothing, and I think it was 34, 35. That's not an easy spot to come back. But we just kind of took one spot, and I ran a big circle in a courtyard while he stood in the doorway. And I didn't shoot any of my zombies. I just shot the ones that came at the doorway for him. And then he stood
Yeah.
there and just lit zombies up with his gun. Now, it wasn't strong enough to kill anything, but because it was getting points, he ended up going up 35, 40,000 points in a round or two, and then he was able to get everything back and be fine. But if that were to happen in this game, you're coming back with nothing, and you're not going to get points until you get kills, and you're not going to get kills with a gun that's not packed or upgraded in any way. So it really
Wow.
screws a player that goes down late. Obviously, that's a skill thing. It incentivizes making sure you don't get hit much, definitely not going down, trying to manage your points well very early. So
Yeah.
I play it a lot. I think I have 5 days of play on it, which is
ready for the
really
ready for the
bad.
first thought that went through my head when you said that.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, it's like a fantasy league without points per reception. But you know what I mean, dude? Like a receiver has 11 catches for 48 yards. It's like, damn, I needed that extra 11 points, bro.
yeah, yeah.
That's immediately what went through my head. I'm like, damn, they took PPR out of COD. That's messed up.
Yeah. It is pretty dope. I will say before we move on from this game crashes a lot. Way more than is acceptable. I'll tell you this: I bought Cyberpunk on Series X, and I was frustrated with it because there are a lot of glitches, and it's really just the Xbox One version, which built on a, GCN technology from 2013, low end CPU, pretty low end GPU, It's not that impressive.
Yeah.
They did add a quality mode in, which runs it a little bit better. I think it runs like Digital Foundry said like 1800p, which is solid. But it damn sure doesn't look like the PC version or the version we've been being shown for a long time. And we are going to talk the controversy with Cyberpunk in a minute. But I
Yeah.
refunded the game because it's just not performing well enough on the Series X or looking like I want it to. And I know I could just get it on the computer and play. I don't have the best computer in the world, but I have a RTX 2080 and 8th Gen i7. I can run Cyberpunk pretty damn well, much better than it's running on consoles. But I prefer consoles. I always play on consoles. It's how I've always played my games for the most part. And because it ran poorly with a lot of glitches, I refunded it. I said, you know what? I'm sure this game's going to be great. I have a lot of faith in CD Projekt Red. The Witcher 3 is arguably the greatest game ever made. But right now, in this state, it's not worth playing. So I refunded it, and when they drop the official PS5 and Series X version, I'll buy it again. Honestly, it had way less glitches and crashes than the game you're watching me play right now. I probably crashed completely out of Call of Duty Zombies. I was just on COVID leave, so I wasn't working. I was sitting here, and when I felt good, I played video games for a while. And if I played for 10 games, I'd probably crash in 7 of them. And I mean completely crash, game locks up, and suddenly I'm back on my dashboard. Even once in a while, I'd get one where my whole system would just turn off. And I looked it up
Wow.
online, and it's not just, I mean, obviously it's not just me, but it's not just like one system. Like the Series X is crashing, the PS5 is crashing, the PS4 and Xbox One are crashing, the PC is crashing. I got my son a gaming computer for Christmas. Uh, he has 2 or 3 crashes a day playing in there, and he's a gamer like I was when I was a kid, man. That boy don't get off the computer unless I force him to. You
Oh,
know,
I know it.
I play with, I'm normally playing with Sean, with Matt, with my buddy Wes from work. Occasionally Fell, and everyone's having crashes. So like, it's just crazy to me that a AAA studio put this out with this many bugs and crashes and weird glitches, and they haven't fixed it in a month and a half. Now I understand COVID changed the world. It changed how everything works. Bug testing, especially. Most studios, even the ones that have gone back to work, most bug testing isn't being done in studio. It's being done in people's homes. And that's a challenge. Because, like, if me and you made a game, we worked at a studio together and we're in an office, and you're testing the game and you find a bug, you can walk down to my office and say, hey, Jay, I found this bug. This is what happens whenever I do this. And then I can look into it, find it, fix it. And it's an hour of work, or more, depending on the, difficulty fixing the bug. But now it's like you're playing at home and you have to find the bug, document the bug, send me evidence of the bug, which when you're recording several gigs worth of data to send to me, that's not going to be super quick. And it's making bug testing a lot longer and more tedious of a process, so I do understand that. But this studio's huge. Releasing the game with glitches didn't really bother me. It being out for a month and a half and still crashing like crazy, that bothers me. That's
Yeah, I can
really
understand
upsetting.
that. I'd be
Uh,
frustrated too.
Another thing that gets me is some simple things they've done with it that I'm just not really a big fan of. Like, Call of Duty has playlist updates. I'm sure you've played Call of Duty before. You know this. Like, sometimes you'll come out of a game and it'll say, a game update is required before you play. Restart now, and then it kicks you back out to like the press A screen, and it says doing update. It's really quick. You do it. You're back in. If one of those happens in this game while you're playing, from the second it happens, everything you did stops counting. And there's no indication that it happened. So, like, if me and you hop on Zombies tonight, and we're playing Zombies, and we start 11 o'clock, and at 11:30, there's a playlist update, but we have a great game. We play for 3 hours, and you go up 35 levels, and prestige a gun or two or whatever. When we get back into the game, you're going to be where you were at 11:30. I understand that that's how the playlist updates have to work, but in this day and age, how hard would it be for you to implement a clock on the screen? Like, just an update that pops up on the screen says playlist update at 12 a.m. So then I would know, hey, dude, we gotta, like, end this game by 11:50 so our stats all count. Because when you're
Yeah.
working on a hard challenge and you get it done and you come out and find out it didn't count, you're not happy.
No.
You know, you see
No,
me like
yeah.
hugging the walls here. I'm just looking for intel in the game. I'm not just running like an idiot.
No, I know. Are you playing solo?
Yeah, I didn't have
Oh,
anyone to
okay.
play with, and I wanted to make sure we had some footage because I knew you said you were only gonna have like 20 minutes of footage, so I just turned this on to run a little bit.
Well, I had a lot more. Unfortunately, I thought I was just going to bring it on USB, but my USB didn't have enough for my Breath of the Wild footage. We are going to start
Yeah.
using box drops,
Uh,
Dropbox.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's still best to use physical. You know, like it's more convenient at times. To use like Dropbox, but when you're going with a lot of data, like right now, we're probably only doing a couple gig files at a time. But if you're trying to bring me like a 30 gig file, uploading a 30 gig file and me downloading it is going to take longer than you bringing it to me physically.
Yeah.
You know, again, it goes back to what I was saying about bug testing. Like it's much more time consuming when you can't just physically walk over and handle it in person. This game is dope though. When it's not crashing, I very much enjoy it. Multiplayer seems to crash less. It does crash, but I've only had I think one or two multiplayer crashes in multiplayer. Most of them happen when I'm like in the beginning. Like I don't get into the game. Like it starts to send us into a game, my game will crash, and I'll be back at the menu. It pisses me off. But when a game crashes and you didn't lose any progress, you don't really care as much as when you've played a 2 hour game that doesn't count anymore. It makes sense?
Yeah, no, that sucks.
Like when it crashes going into multiplayer, I just say whatever. I tell them, I'm normally in a party with my team. I tell them, all right, run this game without me and pick me back up after the game. Then I just play around with my classes and whatnot, check my challenges. But when it crashes, like I played a game. My top on this map right now is 58, and I played a game. I think last Monday, where I got to 56, and the game just locked up, crashed. And I'm not saying that I was definitely going to get above 58, but I was doing pretty good. I had good weapons. I think I would have made it past 58. And when it crashes, that's just gone. That doesn't exist. So I got screwed, and I wasn't happy. I almost threw my headset.
I don't blame you.
Well, but all right, that's enough Call of Duty. Treyarch, if anyone from Treyarch hears this, fix your damn game. So, yeah, I'm tagging you guys. No.
Hashtag Treyarch.
Yeah. So, I guess the real big news in gaming right now, I would still say, is the state that Cyberpunk launched in. And you and I discussed this on our last podcast before I got sick. A little bit. I never thought it was going to run good on Xbox One or PS4. I think the last gen version should have been canceled altogether. Those systems barely ran The Witcher 3 when they first came out. CD Projekt Red patched them and got The Witcher running better, but it still was never a great experience on those consoles. Only slightly better than what you ended up getting on the Switch. So, the minute I saw Cyberpunk, I thought that's not a next gen game. That's a game that's not a current gen game. That's a next gen game that belongs on new systems and high end computers. And really, if you look at how it's performing right now, like even like the RTX 3080 can't really run it at ultra settings, ultra ray tracing, 4K with the best frame rates. That's a game that's really designed for the top end right now and maybe even a little bit for the future. Like maybe it's for the RTX 4000 series cards. The bugs and glitches, those were always going to be there. First off, all games have bugs and glitches. I've never seen a game that released completely bug free. Bugs don't really bother me so much. Crashes do. The game crashes a lot. It locks up. I saw my buddy play on Xbox One, on a regular Xbox, not even a 1S. It was like the old fat Xbox One. And my instant reaction was throw your system away, it's trash. Like it ran so bad. I mean, I think his frame rate was tanking. He didn't have like Digital Foundry's tools to measure the exact frame rate, but that game only runs at 30 in ideal settings on Xbox One. And I think I saw it running probably down to 12, 13. It was very low. Like the worst performance I've ever seen in a video game type deal. So, yeah, Not impressed. I didn't expect any better though on the base systems. I think they should have been canceled. But there is a little bit of a, you know, news here. I guess you'd say it's kind of unprecedented. The uh, the game got delisted on PS4. You know, there were so many complaints that Sony took it off the store and refunded it for anyone that wanted a refund. And then shortly after, Microsoft allowed refunds for anyone that asked, even if they were out of their typical refund phase. So that really shows like this game is in a bad state on older hardware and probably never should have been released. But it caught a lot of flack. A lot of people threw a fit, and now I'm seeing people show it online after it's gotten, I think, the 1.06 patch, which was only like 10 days after it came out. It's suddenly running solid. Not great, but playable. You know, there's much less crashes. There's much better performance overall. You know, so people like threw a fit, and 10 days later it was fixed. Maybe they should have just delayed it another 2 weeks. My big problem with it is they hit it. We always knew it wasn't going to run well on Xbox One or PS4, but CD Projekt Red didn't send out review codes for Xbox One and PS4 until super late. They sent out the codes for PC. They tried to hide how bad it was going to run, and I'm surprised because they've never really done that. They showed The Witcher 3 not running great on consoles early. They showed The Witcher 3 not running great on Switch. They really highlighted the compromises that The Witcher 3 it got on Switch. You know, so I'm kind of surprised that with this they hit it. Like they're normally a little more forthcoming. And I think if they were forthcoming and they came out and said, "Yo, this is not going to run well on old systems. Get this on your computer or get a new game system, or at least have, you know, the higher end, you know, Xbox One X or PS4 Pro." I think there would have been a lot less outcry. It just
Right. All right.
the fact you hit it makes it look really bad to me. That's what I'm saying.
So I want to give my honest feedback on this game because I have a lot to say, a lot of things that are going to be agreed with, a lot of things that are going to be disagreed with. So personally, you know, even before this game really came out, I really could care less for this game. Based on the gameplay, from what I've heard from people, is you can uncircumcise your penis. So
okay. Taking applications for new co-host for the NSX gaming podcast right now.
Well, that's what they say, bro. That's all I've literally heard about the game from the three people.
Yes, it's true that in the character customization, it's very deep. You can, you know, customize your genitals, and I'm sure that most 12 and 13-year-old boys are getting a kick out of it. I'm going to be honest. I'm 32 years old. I laughed hysterically as I was going through the settings, and I made this guy that had, like, tattoos and, like, a military-type haircut and, you know, like a regularly fit body, and then he had a vagina. That was hysterical to me. But
no, what I'm saying is I have no impressions. Nobody has told me about the actual game. Nobody has told me like the story is breathtaking. Nobody has told me that the gameplay is smooth. Even people and everybody I know that has played it has been playing it on PC. Nobody has told me like amazing things about this game on PC. So this is where my opinion is going to go in.
Everyone you know that's playing is playing on a bad PC then. Anyone playing on a good PC is blown away. Promise.
Well, I mean, nobody's really sticking to what makes this game stand out. I'm sorry, I've just heard nothing. I mean, listen, you can disagree with me all you want. This is just my impressions from what I've heard personally. But all right, so here's how I felt E3 2019. Or, you know, when they talked about Cyberpunk is when I thought it was going to get that Hollywood hype. And that's exactly how I feel about Cyberpunk. And I'm disappointed in CD Projekt Red releasing a game that wasn't ready. And this was a game that was being developed for Xbox One and PS4. So all the people using the excuse
hang on a second. I'm going to stop you there because you're wrong. This is a game that was designed for high-end computers when it was first shown. When they first showed this game, they were asked very shortly after about the Xbox One and PS4 version, and they specifically replied that they didn't know if they could make it run on Xbox One and PS4. This is E3 2018. They said it was running on a high-end PC then with dual GPUs, and they said, we don't know how it's going to run or if it's going to run on current-gen platforms. This game was next-gen for them from day one. CD Projekt Red doesn't normally do multiple games in a single generation for the most part. And I don't mean for consoles, I mean for their engines. Each engine tends to come with a new game. You know,
Right.
they've been
Well,
working on Cyberpunk in some degree for 8 years, but it went into full development on systems that were more powerful than what Xbox One and PS4 were. The minimum specs, the minimum specs for the system are essentially a PS4 Pro. So the fact that it runs at all, that it even turns on and allows you to move on a 1.3 teraflop or 1.8 teraflop Xbox One or PS4 respectively is incredible and a testament to how good they are. I don't I don't complain that the game doesn't run well. I complain that they hid the versions that didn't run well. They should have
here,
come out and been honest from day one. I'd be a
do
lot
you
happier.
do you agree or disagree with this? That this in time is a game that people will absolutely forget about. This
No.
isn't going to
No,
be.
no, 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 no.
I don't know.
Okay, think about this. With all the refunds that it just had, it still sold 13 million copies already, which makes it one of the best-selling games of the year.
I mean,
All right. I mean, think about this. The Witcher 3, their last game,
but,
has like 30
but
million
how
sales.
much?
An
But
RPG
we're,
with 30 million sales,
how
that
many
doesn't
got
happen.
refunded? How many got
No,
refunded?
I don't know how many got refunded, but they've got 13 million after the refunds. That means
Okay,
there's
after
still
refund.
13 million.
Okay,
And with the
okay,
number
okay,
of people online
okay.
saying they want refunds, you're never going to forget about Cyberpunk because this game's not going away. It's not done. There's a full-on multiplayer mode that is going to be comparable to GTA Online as far as what they're saying. That's coming.
What they're
They just
saying.
delayed it.
What they're saying, though.
And
I
I
don't
don't
know.
believe for a second that CD Projekt Red would say that they can do something they can't do. They know what they're doing. You know, I think
Okay.
that they were pressured to release it on Xbox One and PS4 simply because Sony and Microsoft both have the same rule. A game cannot come out for the One X or the PS4 Pro unless it also runs on the base systems. I said that was a mistake from the get-go. They did it because they didn't want people upset. They didn't want you to buy a PS4 in early to mid 2016. Now you bought it right before the PS4 Pro came out, and 2 years later they're releasing games that don't run on PS4.
So, are you holding Sony and Xbox more accountable for this mistake than CD Projekt Red?
No, it's definitely.
No.
I don't care that the game doesn't run well on those systems. I expected that. I don't like that it came out on those systems. I'll tell you that. The only mistake here to me is them hiding it, them not showing that version of the game. They should have came out early and honest and said, "Look, the low
It's
end
bad.
version of the game you're not going to really like. You want to play this in the best possible place you can." In the end, I think Cyberpunk is going to sell 25 plus million copies, especially if they really pull off their Cyberpunk Online like people are saying in like a next gen GTA Online type deal. You were talking about the story. I'll tell you, I've watched some people play it. Again, I played it a little bit on the Series X. I don't think there are better stories in gaming than CD Projekt Red stories. CD Projekt Red creates these massive, story-driven, character-driven, epic tales. But they handle side quests in a way that before them no one else did. Now it seems like everyone wants to copy, like Assassin's Creed and whatnot. Where the side quests in the game aren't random fetch quests, aren't, hey, generic NPC says, go over here, kill these guys, give me the side and bring it back, I'll give you a reward. Every single quest in The Witcher 3, or now in Cyberpunk, is like a 2-hour, completely written out story with characters, concepts, all different betrayal, theft, all sorts of things. I don't want to spoil anything. The side stories alone could be their own indie games, and you don't see them repeated. Like, Cyberpunk is going to go down in history as a phenomenal game. It's just going to take a couple more months for them to get it where it belongs. If you play it on a high-end PC right now, even a mid-range PC, if you're willing to forego the ray tracing, and I'll tell you right now that their non-ray traced reflections and shadows are still among the best in the world. But if you play it on anything from like GTX 1660 and like I'd say i7, maybe 6th or 7th gen, you're going to have a very enjoyable experience. Just don't expect the best graphics unless you're playing on a computer that can do the best graphics.
Right. Well, all right. So, I mean, it's good that we have different opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. Personally, I think the game is going to end up being a bust.
How can you have a
But
13 million sale bust?
because I mean, it looks bad for the company. I just think it's bad, dude. It's disreputable. It's just
Okay,
not good.
so I do
I
agree
think
it's bad for the company.
it's let me rephrase it. It's a bust for their morality. It's a bust for them as a company. It just doesn't look good moving forward. I mean, and I just feel like at launch it's overhyped. And let me tell you, before I even get into that I when I was watching Game Awards this year, I kind of had a feeling about the same game having the same problem, or a different game having the same problem as Arc 2, dude. I feel like it's gonna have the same Hollywood kind of hype with Vin Diesel
I
coming
don't
into it.
think that's a valid comparison.
It's got the same Hollywood hype. People are going to be hyped that Vin
It
Diesel's in it, dude. It's got the
You know, the
same
hype on
epic.
Cyberpunk had nothing to do with Keanu Reeves. That was just like a cool thing
Oh,
they threw
he
in.
came out. He
Bro,
came out.
bro, the Cyberpunk hype existed 6 years before Keanu Reeves got on stage.
I didn't know
The,
about
the,
it.
then you should actually just get off of Discord. You shouldn't be in here. That's a lie. We've talked about Cyberpunk before Keanu Reeves showed up.
Probably before Keanu, but I'm saying the hype really took off like around then. Come on.
I
People were
disagree,
making
bro.
memes with little Keanu.
Sure.
Remember
The
little...
social media Keanu hype, sure. The gaming hype around Cyberpunk, people have been wondering what does it take to run Cyberpunk? When am I going to get Cyberpunk? This game has been hyped since before The Witcher 3 came out. Because The Witcher 1 and 2 are phenomenal games, and when CD Projekt Red announced, hey, we also are doing Cyberpunk, people in gaming were like, oh my god, there's going to be a Cyberpunk game from one of the best RPG studios on the planet? And you say, like, this is bad for the reputation. I do agree that it looks bad right now. But gaming especially is a what have you done for me lately kind of thing. People complain every year about how bad Madden is, how Madden doesn't get advanced. But if next year Madden 22 comes out and has all the advancements we've been asking for, people will shut the hell up about years of it not having anything. They'll just be like, oh my god, Madden's so good. We complain about Call of Duty every year. They do one great thing and we hype them right away. Once this game is fixed completely, people are not going to talk about how it released in a bad state because they're going to excuse it. They're going to say, you know what, there was COVID, it was hard, there were lockdowns, most games got delayed. We haven't seen all the delays that are coming yet. You know how many games were supposed to be out that aren't coming to 2021, and how many 2021 titles we haven't even found out about because now they're coming in 2022? Once this game is running the way it belongs, people are going to be like, yo, Cyberpunk's great. What you don't understand is The Witcher 3 released just as bad. This is not new. The Witcher 3 released in a very bad state, bug-wise, and especially on Xbox One and PS4. I had it. I remember it was one of the first games where I found out that digital titles sometimes released at 9 p.m. here because they were releasing, you know, at a different time across the world. It wasn't set at midnight. It was like at the time that their country turned to tomorrow, it released everywhere. So I got it 3 hours before I thought I would. And I remember I turned it on and played it and was like, man, this game runs like shit. And I turned it off. I played for like maybe 20 minutes and was like, yeah, I can't do this. A month and a half later, they had patched it a bunch of times. I played it, and it is, honest to God, one of the greatest gaming experiences of my life. And it shaped so many of the games that you've seen since then. You don't know how much of The Witcher 3 is in every Assassin's Creed since then, is in your beloved Breath of the Wild.
It got its own Netflix series. I understand how great The Witcher is.
Don't get me wrong, that's true. But the Netflix series actually stems from the book series, which the games are based off of. I'm sure that the popularity of the game helped, but that book series is actually really popular too. I have a couple of them here.
That's actually really interesting. I did not know that. That's a good fact to throw in on here. Listen, all I'm saying is I don't want to hate on CD Projekt Red entirely. I just think it's their title.
You shouldn't hate on them at all.
I don't, but what I'm saying is I don't think they recover until their title after Cyberpunk. And it's just
their title after Cyberpunk won't be coming for another 4 or 5 years. They will fix Cyberpunk. And listen, when the multiplayer aspect of Cyberpunk comes out, as long as it's as good as rumors, and like they're not even putting it out themselves, other people are rumoring things about it. If it's as good as the rumors are, if it's really like a next-gen GTA Online, no one will say another bad thing about CD Projekt Red for 5-10 years.
I agree, but I just think games need to do a better job at being ready for launch, or delayed if it's not ready. I just think it hurts a lot of games at launch to not be ready.
I agree, and I think that they normally would have delayed this. The problem is Cyberpunk has already seen massive delays. It's been delayed several times, and I think that they were kind of pressured into actually just releasing the damn game. And because of COVID, they were like, you know what, we can release it, we can fix it as it goes. it's not going to be that bad for people. I mean, I thought I was going to die in the spot in the game, by the way.
Looks like you're killing it.
Well,
Got
it's
a
just
lot
like
of zombies.
staying in this one location is really tight, and I was able this power up, this fire around me makes your gun 5 times stronger, so it really saved me there. That and a monkey bomb. But yeah, in the end, Cyberpunk is going to do fine. It's already got 13 million sales. It's going to sell better. I say it doubles that number at least. And I know you're going to say like, well, Animal Crossing hit 26 million. Animal Crossing has
I'm not. I don't even want to make that comparison.
I
13 million is still great, even after the refund. I'm shocked to hear that's what it is after the refunds. That's
but
shocking me
but
enough.
it's not just 13 million. It's 13 million in a genre that rarely sells massive amounts anymore. We talked about how Final Fantasy VII kind of set the RPG genre on the map. They
Yeah.
were more like niche before that. The problem is with the PS2 generation, the RPG genre got played out. The dominant genre in gaming is the one you're watching right now, shooters. Call of Duty sells 25 to 50 million units a year every year across all platforms. You know, Cyberpunk moving 13 million after all of these refunds, and I'm going to tell you, these refunds when the game gets fixed or people get, next gen systems or better computers, a lot of the people that refunded it are going to buy it again. Now, again, if you play it on a good computer, it's a phenomenal game. I've watched people play it, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want to buy this on my computer, but I never stick to games on my computer very long, so I'm hesitant. I don't know why. I've just always preferred gaming on a console. I do use my computer here and there, but it's pretty rare for me to say, yeah, I'm going to sink the kind of time into a computer game that I do into console games.
Yeah.
I think it's the unified interface. I think it's, like when I get on my computer, I've got to, like, oh, I want this game. Well, I better grab it on Steam. I want this game. Better install Origin. Oh, I want that game. I need the Epic Game Store. And then, like, oh, which of my friends are on this? Which of my friends are on that? Discord helps dramatically with that. And, side note, because I just, like, thought of it, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, can you guys just give us Discord? Just put Discord on all of your platforms, because we've got cross-play on so many games. It's time to give us the ability to just talk to our friends regardless of platform. And I know Nintendo's hesitant because they don't want kids in an app where they're talking to, people they shouldn't be talking to. There has to be some way to code some parental protection in there where, we can decide whether or not our kids are allowed access to Discord. Just give us Discord on everything. If I can play Call of Duty, I'm playing this Call of Duty. I play this on my Series X, with Matt on a Series X, with my buddy on a 1X, with another friend on a 1S, with Ralphie on a computer, Fell on a PlayStation. The fact that we can't all just hop into one Discord chat, we have to be in like the in-game party chat that's not really that good. The quality is not great. I don't like it. I try to avoid it at all costs. I'll even make myself appear offline to people so no one sees me and I can just play with my Xbox friends to stay in an Xbox
Yeah,
party.
we did not do good when I connected on the phone. That was very frustrating for both of us.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just want Discord on everything. Maybe I'm being a whine ass, but I want
No, dude,
Discord on
no.
everything. It's just such a simple tool. I love it. It belongs on everything. I mean, it's already on your PC, on your phone, on your tablet, on whatever else you use. So, just put it on all of our game systems, please,
Yeah,
please.
would you? Would you?
All right. And if you don't, someone else find a way to like mod it on there. Okay. Someone out there knows
Yeah.
what they're doing. Come on,
Mod
guys.
it and then upload it for all of us.
Yeah, put it
Thanks.
on Kickstarter. I'll throw some money down. Let's go.
No, but it does suck that they, I understand certain games not going to platforms. I get it. Like, some of my friends get mad like that they can't play Zelda on their Xbox. And it's like, well, that's what makes the consoles special. That's what exclusives really define a console. I feel like, and that's your reason for buying it. It's a big reason for buying something. But I get it. He feels like Nintendo should develop games and then, let Sony and Xbox make the consoles together. But I mean, it just takes away. I personally like Nintendo's console being portable. I like being able to go wherever with my Switch.
I agree, but I do think that the advent of cloud gaming is making it to where you wouldn't need that anymore.
Right.
Like I'm able to play my Xbox, on lunch at work just on my phone with this little Razer controller. That's really dope. If you guys haven't grabbed the Razer controller and you're playing XCloud, go out and grab the Razer controller. It's like the Razer Kishi. It's phenomenal. I do feel like if Nintendo went and dropped games like Breath of the Wild 2 and they abandoned the hardware and said, "Hey, Breath of the Wild 2 is a PS5 and Series X title." I think their sales would explode because you would have both other console markets ready to buy things. And I do think Nintendo, they're just not as good at hardware, or especially, we've talked about this before, the online interface. So if they don't want to make their games on another platform, I understand that. Step up your online game, and if you can't, if you're just a company that doesn't have that online focus and can't bring in the people that do, then reach out. You know what? Microsoft really
Discord.
needs some help with some games. Microsoft absolutely needs help with certain titles. How about taking some of your less successful Nintendo properties and trading? Say, Microsoft, help us out with an online Xbox Live type, interface for Nintendo, and we'll let you grab, Star Fox and Metroid, because they don't do too well on Nintendo platforms anymore.
And realistically, right? I mean, dude, realistically, they did Star Fox's Starlink, which is a cross-platform game anyway.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? I mean,
And
dude,
they've
don't be
experimented
surprised.
recently with like cell phone games getting actual like Nintendo properties. So branch out a little bit
Yeah,
more. I'm not telling you to drop the next Mario somewhere other than Nintendo. But like, I'm excited for Metroid Prime 4. One thing that worries me is no one else releases shooters on Nintendo platform, and there has to be a reason for it. It's got 60 something million sales. So it's not like your game's not going to sell at all. There has to be a performance reason that people are saying, I'm not releasing my game, my first person shooter on a Switch, because it's just not going to run good enough.
well,
And if
Metroid.
that's going
Oh,
to be the
dude,
case
they
with
fired,
Metroid,
they fired the whole studio making it, and they hired a whole new studio to make
yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's why.
but I mean, it's not just Metroid. Like, there is no Call of Duty, there is no Battlefield, there is no none of this. And like, Call of Duty came out on the Wii U. So something's going on with the Switch
With the first
hardware
person,
that
you're right.
they don't want to release their games on it. And dude, companies want to make money. Companies typically release their game anywhere it will sell, and the Switch sells really well. So if they're not releasing it, I have to assume they're confident that these type of games really aren't going to perform, and it makes me worry about the new Metroid Prime. So why not, split with Microsoft or Sony, I don't care, and get them to help you develop an adequate online system, an adequate system interface that matches up to the competitors right now, and trade. Say, you know what, we'll release a premium version of Metroid Prime 4 on the Xbox console. Like, it'll still come to Switch, but we'll also release it on, the Series X with like a 4K version.
That'd be dope.
I've seen Microsoft share. Microsoft's released like Halo style games. Like, I remember there was a Halo for, I want to say, Game Boy Advance. Like, it wasn't actually like Halo 1, 2, or 3, but they've released a Halo title. They released, I don't know if you remember Rare's game, Viva Pinata. That came out on Nintendo platforms. So just share and get someone to help you with your online, because you're killing me. It's one of the reasons I really don't like using my Switch much.
Yeah.
But I know you got to work, so you're probably gonna have to cut off of here. And we're at an
I
hour. I
gotta
know
work.
we've got a lot more
Yeah.
stuff to talk because obviously me being sick, we missed 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll try to cut another 45-minute episode or something later this week to try to
Well,
catch
I
up
was
on
even
some stuff.
well, like we said too, we got that 30-minute episode of Immortals planned really quick just to kind of go over the graphic comparison, and so we'll definitely get some things down. We'll we're constantly expanding our ideas, right? We're constantly going over things, and
Yeah,
it's good
and
to
I
have
mean,
you back
really,
on the flow. And
anyone that's out there that's listening, if you got any ideas on what you want us to do, any things that you want us to not do, things you think we can improve, a shout out in the comments. Mine and Sween's Twitter are on here. Hit us up on there. I mean, you can hit me up anywhere on there, honestly. And any feedback, we'll take it. Good, bad. You can even troll us. I don't care. That's,
the next episode, we'll
I
have
troll
my
better
Twitch
than
on the
anybody.
bottom too, for sure.
Oh yeah, all right. I'll add that in. Just shoot me the link.
Yeah, I got you.
No. But all
No,
right.
but
I guess that's really enough for we hit an hour, and I don't plan on getting sick again. So hopefully I don't miss any more episodes. Sween, don't get COVID. You won't like it.
oh, I'm doing
0 out
good.
of 10. I don't recommend.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I work in the back at my job, away from everybody. Love it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't get
Well,
it because it did suck. And with that, I'm gonna sign off, man. Red Cloud Gamer out. Green Sween, I'll see you
Green
next time.
Sweet Sign. Sounds good, man.